Hello and welcome back to a brand new vlog. My name is Orion. I post videos every single Wednesday and Sunday at 6 p.m. where we are currently in the process of renovating our home. As I record this vlog, we have roughly 6 weeks before we move back in here. So we need to get things like paint jobs sorted, black mold cleaned and repaired, holes filled, and so much more. But today our goal is clear. And that is to completely empty this room. And even though I spent time pulling up this Calyx unit and fitting a TV to the wall, start fresh. Because as a wise man once said, if you're going to do something, do it right. And no, Buzz Lightyear doesn't say that, but I like Buzz and Woody. We can't forget Woody. So I guess there is no time like the present to start shifting things out of this room and into the other. And I think we're going to utilize this space right here to store everything. Well, at the very least, I'm going to try my best to, because I've got a bed to put there, a Calyx unit to put there, and a desk. I honestly don't know how I'm going to fit it all in this room. But as long as it can stay in here whilst we decorate the other room, that'll be completely fine. Because after we have moved everything out of here, I want to go around the room and fill in all of the holes that have been left from like me putting screws in there for where the TV used to go and where shelves are currently hanging. And then once the holes are filled, I'm going to then sand them over and paint the entire room white. Because right now we've got like this pinkish colour on the wall, and obviously this design that I did for Jess when her desk used to go there. And then there's lots of like polyfiller marks where the contractors came in and did the door frames as well. And basically, I want to give myself a fresh canvas to work with. Because the plan is, with this divider here, this area of the room is going to be a different colour to this area. However, we're not going to get bogged down with that today. The objective today is purely to clear the room out and paint it white. Speaking of which, I've only moved the bed. So let's grab the drill and get this Calyx unit shifted. Several screws later, I'm most definitely going to regret that, I am about ready to start moving the Calyx unit by myself. I'm not sure how well this is going to go. But at the very least, it'll make for quite a funny moment on YouTube. So there is that. It's not moving, which is a little concerning. Oh, it would seem I left a bracket in. Right, let's try this one again. Gonna move it out this way. God, if this falls over, oh dear, will not be happy. Right, that should give us enough room to unscrew it. And with that unscrewed, we can attempt this again. I'm really nervous that I don't have the strength to hold this. But do I have the strength to hold this? Oh, I don't know. Let's go this way. Oh my God, this is very heavy. Let's go down. What? Why am I doing this? Okay. Onto next. Ouch, Charlie. Okay. Look how heavy that was. No joke, it has stuck a dent in my boots. That is where it landed. Let's pop that back out with a bit of a wiggle of the toes. I should really get some steel toe caps or, wait for some help. Either way, it's now on the floor. Which means it can be pulled or pushed. It's oddly satisfying that everything in here is like the same height. Whether it's up the right way or it's on its side, is all level. I don't know how, but I like it. I also quite like the fact that I didn't break a toe whilst doing that. That was a little bit heavy, and maybe I should have waited for some help, but I've done the job now. There is lots of room in this room. All that's left to do is to move Jess's craft things. Again. I couldn't tell you how many times I've moved these bloody crafting things. You know what I might actually do? I might move it from there back to there. Because if I put it in the lounge, it's not going to be the same height, and it's just going to ruin the aesthetic of my stacking. So, with one thing at a time, we'll move all of Jess's stuff. Okay, I have moved most of it now into this room. All I've got left to do in here is take the shelves down, because I've got a couple of those still in place, and decide what I'm going to do with the desk. I'm currently thinking that I'm just going to leave it in the middle of the room, because I have a big sheet to cover the carpet with to protect that when we start painting, and it'd be useful to have like an area to like put the brushes on and stuff like that. So if I get another sheet to cover that with, or maybe if I've got some extra bits from there, it'll actually be quite useful. But right, it's time to grab the drill again, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 things to unscrew. And with the shelves now done, I'm only just realizing that there's 2 completely different shelves. I must have bought them at completely different times, because one is most definitely a different size to the other. But with everything off the wall, it's just this that's left to do. And the reason I have this in my hand is because it's stuck, like really stuck. It's like chewing gum. I'm hoping I can prise this off the wall, but hopefully it doesn't break, but Oh, that's not making very nice noises at all. Well, it's safe to say that was never going to fall off the wall, because it would have brought the wall down with it. Jesus. Little review for you if you're someone who intends to buy nano leafs at any point in your life. I don't know why you would. But it was a big gaming thing, and to be honest, they are cool. I like how they go over the walls and stuff like that, but the app isn't great, and the Wi-Fi system in it's really not good either. I've generally speaking not had a very good experience with it. They're cool, but not worth hundreds of pounds. At least not in my opinion. But right, the last thing we need to do now is get the wall plugs out of the wall, hoover the floor, and put the sheet down. And I'm thinking some of these will be really easy to take out because all I need to do is unscrew them because they are plastered ones. Well, there you go. That's one out. And then with these ones, I think I just need to put a screw into them. I don't know if I could. I might be able to hand screw. Oh, there you go. There you go. Just screw it and pull it out. See, I do know what I'm doing. Kind of. A bunch of plugs and screws later. I think I have completely finished this room. All that's left to do is to take this sheet and put it on the floor. So you ready? Well, I think I may have bought the wrong size sheet. I get the impression this is for stairs, and if I pick this up, oh dear. See, when I read the packaging, I thought it was 7 meter by 7 meter, which would have been perfect for this size room. But no, this runway is not really going to do what I needed to do. It's not going to cover the floor at all. And no, before you ask, I can't cut it up into stripes and lay it out across the room. That is all we get. I'm also now realizing it because I've removed everything from that room. All of the sound dampening is gone, so the audio has been a bit rough for like a large portion of this video. I do apologize for that. Obviously I can't do a lot about it, but I think that's all we can do for now. So we're going to do some magic and click forward to the next day where we are going to be sanding down and filling in the holes. Oh, fuck that. There's too much friction on my fingers. That might be one of the weirdest things I think I've said in the vlogs, but well, I've ruined my transition to tomorrow. I'll see you there, where I believe I'm ready to caulk the walls. Now, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to use this caulker's acrylic to basically plug the holes, because as you can see right there, they're quite deep. Then I'm going to use some polyfiller to kind of smooth over the wall, basically for parts like this. And then I'm going to use my handy dandy mouse or my hand tool so I can smooth it all out, ready for painting. Now, I realise that this probably isn't necessary and I could just use the polyfiller, but to be honest, I've got it, so I may as well use it. And with the holes filled in, it's just a case of smoothing it out. Beautiful. One section done, a couple more to go. I'm now considering, because I've done this part with the gun, that I may as well just dab it over here and smooth this all out with this, rather than opening another polyfiller for no reason. Oh yeah, that was easy enough. I have now got everything filled in. And I was about to grab the mouse and have some fun sanding everything down, but I've just been told that Jess wants to have a go first. So I guess I'll have to wait till she gets here. And in the meantime, I'm going to build a box unit there. Now, I've never actually done this before, so I've had to be a bit nerdy. And using the skills that I do have, I opened up Photoshop, I turned millimeters into pixels, and I redrew basically what I planned to build. That way, when I went to B&Q, I could get everything cut exactly how I needed it to, and I didn't waste any money. So here is some MDF that I got earlier. Now, I wish I could bask in the glory of absolutely nailing the measurements, which I did, but I made one mistake. And you might notice one board happens to be a little bit too long. And to be honest, I'm just gonna blame Benjamin because it was just me and him at B&Q, and I think due to the anarchy of it, I just got the last measurement wrong. But it's fine, we can cut that down to size later. But right, before I get cracking on with the MDF, I actually need to build a skeleton first out of timber. And thanks to the nerdy work that I actually did earlier, I can actually go in here and hide layers, and you can see there that I need 3 pieces of timber, and if I control and click on one of them, it tells me exactly the measurements I need just there. All I have to do is treat those as millimeters, measure it out, and we'll be good. So 1120 mil around here, and with my square, line it out. Then all we have left to do is to actually cut it. Easy peasy. Time to repeat that a few more times. All right, halfway there, I've got all the vertical pieces of wood cut. And for a little bit of a visual representation, this is kind of how it's going to go. So I'm going to have a piece against the wall there, a piece against the wall there, and then a larger piece in the middle to basically connect the two. And then I'll have another 3 further forward to support the MDF. All I need to do now is cut some lengths this way to basically tie it all together. Several sweaty hours later and a visit from an electrician, we have finally got all of the wood cut, and I've got the socket prepared to put another 2 sockets there. Now it's time to fix the skeleton to the wall. So we're going to drill some pilot holes in the wood, which we can then use to find out where to put the plugs in the wall, and then we just tap them in. 3 screws later, we got our first piece of timber on the wall. Time to repeat that 2 more times. Actually, I've had a change of heart. I'm gonna put one of the sheets of MDF up first, because as much as I trust my measurements, I want to work from the wall this way, because I didn't really compensate for the skirting board when I did my measurements. So thanks to some perfectly measured offcuts earlier, I can pin those to the bottom of these legs, like so. And then if I've done my job right, it should be level. And the survey says, oh, I'll take it. Level up top as well. It's not perfect, but this is DIY and I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm okay with it. Time to make another one for there. All my days, you have no idea how long it takes me to do this thing. And it is mainly because of this. Having to hand saw every piece of wood that goes into that is so long. It is also tremendously exhausting, but we have managed to get the second one up. And thank God, the MDF fits perfectly. And before you say anything, it's intentional. There is meant to be a trough here. And that is because when we put our drinks up here at night, I don't have to worry about them sliding off and falling on our heads whilst we sleep. They're kind of nicely enclosed in their own space. Now, before we put the MDF up, I have to make a confession, and it has something to do with these pieces of wood that are meant to go across there, which you can clearly see don't fit. And it's because instead of cutting this timber here to go into the skirting board, because I can't take the skirting boards off, it means that all these pieces of offcuts that I've cut today are now they're too long by literally the length of the skirting board. Honestly, incorporating the skirting board into this whole thing has made this a complete nightmare. And I really wish I'd just taken it off, and just, who's gonna know, really? No one's gonna come in and see it, but play by the rules and all that. So in order for this to match perfectly, I need to cut the skirting board out of that little corner there. And to be honest, I am genuinely so sick of using a handsaw that I think I might use a jigsaw for this. And thankfully, that is something I have from years and years ago. So with the skirting board marked out, let's get to sawing. Honestly, praise be to electric tools, it fits perfectly. And for that reason, I'm just going to tack it in. And now that I know that that's not going to move, I can fit the second board perfectly in line. The skeleton is fixed to the wall, the MDF fits flush there, and it fits flush there. All my days, he's only gone and done it. That has legitimately taken me all the live long day. And I've not even finished it. That piece of MDF right there should fit on the end perfectly. And if it doesn't, it can piss off. Oh my days, would you look at that. I just need to cut the skirting board again, and it is mission accomplished. Now, before we do the final touches on this, I do kind of feel like I've not explained what this is for. And basically, when we put the bed here and create like the snug, there is nowhere for us to put drinks, our phones, all that kind of fun stuff. So I thought I would basically DIY a headboard with, at the top is an area for us to stick our drinks and phones. And then just above the headboard, we're going to put some sockets in. So I can have a socket just there, Jess can have a socket just there, and everything is fine and dandy. I realise that right now it does look heavily DIY day if you don't know what you're doing, but trust me, when it's finished, it will look good. We just have to trust the process. Right, now as you saw earlier, I mentioned that these bits of wood were now too long. So as much as it pains me, I need to trim them down a smidge. Then I can put them in place, 1, 2, 3. Job is a good one. And with the final job of pinning the MDF to the frame, I think we are done. At least for today's vlog, I am, because oh my days, I am pooped. I am very hot and sweaty. This is no easy work, but it is absolutely solid. It is not going anywhere. I'm quite impressed with myself. Considering I genuinely had no idea what I was doing, I think I've done okay. Now, using the last remaining daylight that I have, I will throw this in at the end of the vlog. There are several ways to actually do this, and probably one of the most common is to use plasterboard. And I did consider that, but I'm not very good at plastering, and I didn't want to try that for the first time. So I thought I'd just get MDF. To be quite honest, I'm probably going to have to sand that thing down and then fill it in anyway. So I guess we'll take this as a learning curve. But all in all, it's fit to purpose and it does what I want it to do. It's not obviously the most perfect thing in the world, but I've never done it before. So we'll take it as a W for today. All that's left to do now is to sand it down and fill in all of the gaps, wire up the new sockets, and then cut down the actual top board here so I can slot that in. So obviously it's not a big gaping hole down the back. Then it's just a case of priming it and then painting it how we want it. Which I guess brings me on to my next point. I didn't quite finish the job that I set out to do today, which was to clear the room out and paint it. So I guess you're gonna have to tune into the next vlog to see that. And so if you've enjoyed this one, please leave it a thumbs up, Ray, and I'd appreciate it. It took a lot of effort. It's probably the longest longest vlog I've posted in a while, so a thumbs up for that. And if you are new around here, please do subscribe. We're on the road to 25k, to 30k. I don't even know anymore. The channel's doing so well. I'm so happy, and I'm so grateful to everyone who leaves comments and tunes in to watch the vlogs on a weekly basis. It's honestly mind-blowing. I still don't really get it. I just do my own thing, and people watch it. I really do appreciate it. But as always, guys, been Orion. I love you very much. Peace, much love. Bye-bye.